Have you ever honestly thought, oh my gosh, like I just met this person and I think this person could really be my friend. And then all of a sudden you start having these thoughts like, well, what if she doesn't like this about me? I don't know. What if she judges me for this? What if she finds out my kids aren't perfect? Um, or also, have you ever thought you had a friend that maybe you met and something happens in your life and suddenly that friend is not there for you and you are just questioning your decision making and you're questioning your friendship and you're questioning your ability to judge people. There's just so many things that are difficult about friendship and the complexity of having relationships. And yet we know they're so important and we need them in our life to be healthy. Well, today we're going to be talking about what I think something is really common in our world, and that is how to know when you have a fake connection or a fake friendship versus real community. And I'm going to be sharing some of my own experiences with this, but I think this is such a really important topic that we discussed today, and it's not a fun one. It's not an easy one. It can be a struggle and a sticky and a hard one, and something we're probably going to have to deal with for the rest of our life. So we're going to dive deep today. Man, January is coming to close. And let me tell you, I've had 4 trips in January. So I was on a plane 4 times, 3 of them for work, 1 of them for fun. And I just spent a lot of time this month with women. I spent time with women at my retreat where we did a deep dive for 3 days. I spent time at 2 huge conferences with women where I was a keynote speaker. It was amazing. And I've also been spending a lot of time in my community. And one thing that just keeps popping up is this feeling of being undervalued and not knowing what to do about it. This feeling of being stuck and not knowing what to do about it. And I feel like if I could put the majority of women I'm coaching into 2 buckets, it would be the women that feel undervalued or are undervalued or unhappy in their job, and women that feel stuck. I want to tell you that in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, we're starting my once a year entry-level course called Brave Balance. This is a small group coaching cohort. If you've never done coaching, if you've always wondered, is this for me? If you've done coaching somewhere and it just wasn't the right fit, if you're still looking for this small group of people who will become your people, this is it. You don't need to be stuck and you don't need to stay undervalued, but you do need tools to figure out how to operationalize that, because it's one thing to have self-awareness like, my job is burning me out, or this relationship is toxic, or I have to find joy. That's one thing, the self-realization, but taking the steps and implementing the strategies and what I call operationalizing what you know you need to do is a whole other thing, right? That's where the work is. And so March through May, I'm taking a small group through my entry-level course called Brave Balance. It's an incredible, transformative course that you will leave after 12 weeks being different. I guarantee you. You will leave with strategies on how to set boundaries, say no. You will have a deep sense of awareness of what needs to go in your life and what needs to stay. And you will have the tools, the most important piece, you will have the tools to do that. You also will have structure and habits you've never had before, spending daily time with yourself. It's called Brave Balance. We start March 2nd, which means you get a module every week that you can listen to. It's not long. It's under 30 minutes. And then we meet once a week for an hour of coaching. Everything's recorded. So when you miss because you're on vacation or something, you can listen to it and you get 18 hours of CME. I want you to be in this course. I want you to sign up for this course. Don't miss out this year. Make 2026 different. Okay, so let me tell you. Today we're going to be talking about something that all of us are experiencing, but few of us are naming, and that is friendship in this digital age. I'm getting like short of breath just thinking about this. I'm going to take a drink of my tea. We have so many ways to connect. We've never had more ways to connect in the history of our world as we do now. We have so many different ways to connect. Sometimes thousands of times a day we could connect. I mean, I remember when I was running a huge Facebook group, I would wake up every day to 400 notifications. thinking about that now gives me anxiety. But I would wake up to 400 or 500 notifications of people that would either tag me or mention me, and I would want to respond to because I felt connected to them in that community. I felt a responsibility to them in that community. Now, not all of them were lovely. I'm not saying 400 or 500 people were like, hey, we want to hear from you today. We like you. We want to be your friend. That was not the case. The vast majority were lovely. And there were a few every day that I had to, I had to stomach. But it's a good realization. Like if I look back to that and I think, oh my gosh, I woke up every day with 400 or 500 notifications, multiply that times a year. Oh my goodness. No wonder I felt kind of exhausted by managing that group. I mean, I would know what people were vacationing. I knew what people were wearing. I knew what people were struggling with, what they were celebrating with. And yet, in many ways, when I was managing that group, I have never felt so alone. I managed that group with people to start with, and the people were like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And I ended managing the group with one person who is a dear friend to this day. She is a lovely human being. But it was hard on her. Like it was really hard on her. It was hard on us. And we both, I think at the end felt like very alone in this mission, because even though we were connecting with people every day, it wasn't this deep sense of connection. And I knew that I had to make a really hard decision. I've talked about this decision on the podcast before. I had to close that group so that I could create what I was really craving, which was a small community that now is called The Table, where I have 100 women in there. And I nurture those women, and I see them uplifting each other. And we have a very private, small group where we share and we uplift, and it's amazing. But I want to talk about this because I think sometimes we can get tricked with all the fakeness on social media on who is our friend and who is an acquaintance, who is there for us or would be there for us. You will be shocked sometimes. And what I see, and what I actually was just coaching someone on this morning, is the loss of a friendship and a loss of someone that this person worked with that she thought they were friends. This other person is, told her pretty bluntly this week, we're colleagues, we're not friends. And the loss of that. And what happens is we doubt ourselves. We doubt ourselves as women. We ask ourselves, like, how did I misread this? How did I misread this signal? This person I thought was a close friend, and she's telling me, no, I'm just a colleague. This person that I connected with on Facebook, or I've messaged, or I've seen at a meeting and, asked to go to dinner, and she kind of stumped me and was like, no, we are not friends. How did I misread this? And I think it can be very tricky in this day and age when we have so many connections to really understand what true friendship is like. I certainly have misread cues. I realized that in the last 2 years when I had two devastating things happen to me in my life that kind of shook me. One was the loss of my brother-in-law. One was losing my house with a tornado. Those two things were traumatic for me. And they were also something that revealed true friendship. People I knew that I would have thought were my friend, but not at that deep level, showed up for me, and still to this day show up for me. People that I thought were my close friends did not show up for me. Whoa, that was a wake-up call. And I realized, oh, those people only like Sasha when Sasha can give them something, when Sasha can do something for them. When I can promote their business and I'm in conference mode, they're my BFF. And I mistakenly thought those people were my close friends, but they're actually just business acquaintances. And then other women in my community that I've met online showed up for me in huge ways and still do to this day. And I realized, like, whoa, that's what friendship is. And I misread cues. So if I do, I'm sure everyone does. So the first point I want to make today is that digital familiarity is not emotional intimacy. you can know about someone without actually knowing them. I mean, I was thinking about this last night. When I was a kid, I loved going to the library. Okay. I loved going to our public library, and my mom would go, we would go at least once a week. And I would just disappear, and I would find all the books I wanted to check out, which were, I think there was a 6-book limit. I would always it was so hard for me to pick which 6 books I wanted. But I remember at one point there were these kind of books about the royal family. And I went as a elementary school girl, I just my brain just went into this royal family, historical, current background. I was so amazed that people were actually living as royals when I was in elementary school. Still, I was like, what? People live like this now? And there were picture books. And I just went and learned everything there was to know about the royal family in England. And I felt like I knew everything they liked, all of where they lived, where they vacationed, all their relationships. You guys, I don't know the royal family. But in my brain, I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember when Princess Diana was killed, I was grief stricken. I remember the day. I remember where I was when I heard, because I felt like I knew her. I mean, this kind of sounds silly saying it out loud. It sounds really crazy, but I didn't know Princess Diana. Even if I met her once, which I obviously didn't, but even if I had met her, I didn't know her. You can know about someone and not know them, and you can interact with someone and not truly know them. And social media kind of creates this ambient awareness, you feel like you're in someone's life without ever having a conversation. I just was at a conference last weekend and speaking and giving a keynote address. And it was a wonderful conference. The organizers did a great job. There were probably 300, 400 women there. And I showed up, and all these women came up to me and were like, I feel like I know you. That was the first thing that they said. I feel like I know you. Of course they feel like they know me, because I post a lot of myself on social media and I'm very real. And almost every single one of them said the same thing. We love that you're real. We love that you show up without makeup. We love that you don't post filtered, perfect looking pictures where you're dressed to the nines. We love that you don't have your life all together and you share that with us. And I always will. But the truth is, none of those women really truly know me, and I don't know them. And we can trick our brain. Our brain tricks us with social media into thinking that we have friendships we don't truly have. And so sometimes you stop reaching out to someone who could be a true friend because you're like, oh, I already know what's going on in her life. Oh, I see what she's doing on social media. I don't need to reach out and see if she's okay. Right? I always am taken aback by, sometimes I'll run into somebody at a conference or something, and I know this person. I know them well. And they're like, how are you doing, with everything that's gone on the last couple of years? And I think to myself, well, I'm doing okay. I'll try to update them. And I think, wow, this person never reached out to me, but they obviously know everything that happened. And then I forget, oh, I post about those things on social media. Of course they think they know. Of course they want to know how I'm doing because I share that. So seeing someone's life is not the same as being in someone's life. And that's a lesson that I've had to learn. I've had to learn, if I see my friend on social media posting that her mom died, and I say, I'm so sorry, and she's my actual friend, I need to text her. I need to take it a step further, right? I need to go above and beyond social media because this is actually someone I really, truly care about. And if I don't have her phone number and I consider her a friend and she's going through something, I need to send her a DM. I need to reach out or send her an email some way, because seeing someone's life is not the same as being in someone's life. And to be in someone's life, you got to make it personal. You really got to make it personal. The second thing I think that's important to know is high functioning women are very vulnerable to fake connection. Okay. Why? Because being busy and being competent overextends you into scrolling and not connecting. I mean, I am so guilty of this. It's not even funny. This last year, I'm building a new business in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm opening up a women's club, a premier women's space. It's going to be beautiful, gorgeous. We're 8 weeks away. It's going to be amazing. And I'm trying to get the word out, which means I'm connecting with women one-on-one. I've had I've had over 100, close to 130 one-on-ones in the last 8 months. I am connecting with women that is at a level, just having coffee. I've learned this at a level that I would never reach over social media, chatting back and forth. But it's been a stretch for me, because scrolling and saying like a comment here or there, or giving somebody a heart or a like, is just so easy in my busy day. But finding time to have coffee with someone, that takes energy, effort, and work, right? Scrolling, liking, sending like yay yays, yaha, woohoo, lovies. That is no vulnerability, people. That's no effort, no risk. Meeting a woman for coffee and sharing what I'm creating and hearing her feedback is vulnerability, right? Real friendship requires inconvenience, showing up and scheduling and being known. I'm just going to say that again. Real friendship requires inconvenience. You got to get messy. You got to message each other. You got to work through arguments. You got to reach out when you're feeling insecure and say, is everything okay with us? I feel like we've lost ourselves. You got to reach out when that person is being quiet and say, what's going on? I notice you're quiet. Is everything okay? You got to reach out when you hear that this person is struggling, or maybe you're feeling a sense of distance. Distance typically means that something's going on with your friend. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with you, but you don't know that. You got to reach out. Friendships are messy. Fake connection is easy, and I see it all over social media. The third thing that I want to bring up is your nervous system cannot regulate a screen, okay? Your nervous system regulates through eye contact, tone of voice, shared speech, shared space, touch, and laughter. That's how your nervous system decides that this person is safe, this person is not. Not on a screen, not on an email, not on text. That is not how we were created. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person, she's my best friend, but you've never actually connected with her in person, you may have a very different experience when you do. And it doesn't mean that you read something wrong. It means that you're just kind of screening that. That's how I see it. Like, I'm screening this person. Sometimes I'll see someone I follow on social media and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to get to know this person. Hey, we're in the same city. I'm going to be there. I'm traveling. Let's have lunch. I just look at it as a screening. Like, that's how I see social media. I don't ever go, oh my gosh, this person's my person forever. We're bonded. I have so many high hopes. No, I just look at it and go, I'm going to have an interesting conversation and screen this person. And I like them on social media. I like what they post. I think they have a good vibe. We might click, we may not, but either way, it'll be a great coffee, a great dinner. And if you walk away from it with a friend, great. If you walk away from it with a business partner, great. But we're not meant to connect. And our social systems are meant to be in person connection. Even over Zoom is better than over social media, right? Like, we have amazing connection in my table group, which, by the way, anyone can join. If you're looking for friendship, if you're looking for inspiration, if you're looking for accountability, and you're looking for just a little bit of positivity in your week, join the table. It's a monthly fee. It's very inexpensive. You get an hour of CME. It totally is worth it every month. And you get safety. It's a psychological safe place. So go to the table and join. You can join on me for a couple weeks, see if you like it. But we get together on Zoom, we can see each other. We cry, right? We see each other's faces. Everybody's on camera. That is what we're meant to do. We're meant to connect through eye contact and voice and touch and laughter. Texting, liking, commenting, that doesn't really meet the biological need of connection that we're meant to have. right? Your nervous system doesn't feel hugged by a like. In fact, it can feel opposite. There's a lot of studies out there that show that when we don't get likes, when we don't get enough likes, we can feel bad. Even if 5 people, 10 people took time to like something we wrote, we feel bad because it's only 10 or 5 people. It's not 500. But man, if we were sitting in a room and we said something and 5 or 10 people came up to us in the room and said, "Good job." Do you understand how amazing we would feel? We would feel amazing, right? Because that's how we're meant to. So the last point I want to make is real community requires intention in a digital world. You have to be intentional about friendship. It will not happen accidentally. You have to create rhythm like dinners and walks and calls and retreats and membership spaces like the table and the legacy collective that I'm building, right? You have to choose in-person spaces, which is why I do the Brave Enough conference every year. Because I want women to look at each other across the room and connect, cross the table and share a struggle. I want them to be at the pool in the afternoon and laughing and sharing. I want them to be in the spa and connecting. That's why I create in-person retreats and events. That's why I do my online community coaching, Brave Balance that's coming up. We're going to meet every Saturday morning for an hour. Why do we do that? Why don't I just do everything online? Because that's true connection, is seeing each other's faces. In a digital world that we live in, real friendship has to be scheduled. It has to be. If you want real, true friendship, you got to book it, you got to schedule it, you got to make it happen. I love to cultivate friendships by having scheduled dinners. I have scheduled dinners with my friends about every other month. We get one on the calendar. And sometimes I don't want to go. And then I show up and I'm like, thank God I'm here, right? Thank God. So this is how we change, is we get around powerful women who change us. We get around powerful women who meet us where we are. We get around women who see us for who we are, and we create psychological spaces. I hope today that you realize that fake connection fills your time, but real connection fills your soul. And I hope that you will join me in a month for Brave Balance. If you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I need this so bad. I need all of the things that you just said. I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling burned out. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm in chronic stress mode that I can't even sit still for 5 minutes without doing something. Please join Brave Balance. You can find out about it online at becomebraveenough.com and go to courses, or you can message me. You can email me, sasha@becomebraveenough.com. I'll jump on a call with you and we'll chat about it. I want you to be there because I want you to be part of this amazing group that we're building. It's going to be 20 women or less, and it's going to be amazing. You deserve friendship and true connection. Remember to live brave.